Hey everyone, Allison Turner, Batcat Media Group, home of Dream Plan Start Grow, which is my business coaching program and podcast. Today, I titled my live stream Monday Mayhem. So have you ever had that Monday where everything is just like going really fast? You know, the emails are coming in, the questions are coming in, something's changing, something needs to be changed. It's like everything. It's like the perfect storm. If you ever seen that movie, The Perfect Storm, where like kind of everything, the storm gets worse and worse and worse. It's like the perfect storm, which is not really perfect if you're in the boat in the ocean, but I digress. But today was one of those days where just everything just kept coming in. Everything kept, going more and more and more and more. And I kind of got through the middle of my morning and I was like, oh my goodness, actually the end of my morning. And I was like, I've got to get some stuff done. And I'd prioritized certain things on my list of like what I really need to get done in the next week. So some of the stuff's for clients, some of the stuff is for our company. So I really looked at that list and I moved some stuff up in my schedule, because what happened last week was I put my company stuff later in the afternoon, and then it just didn't get done because this type of thing happened and more started coming up. And then I was still working on that for clients and then never getting to our stuff. And as a business owner, you have to find that perfect, way of doing business. You have to be able to do your own work, meaning that you're working on the company in order to grow the company, and not just working in the company, meaning working on clients' work. So I prioritized earlier some of the stuff I needed to get done. So I release a podcast every week. I watched that this morning. Haven't released it yet, but I did get through it. I always watch the whole thing just to make sure everything looks good. I worked on some webinar slides. I'm getting ready to release a webinar in the next month or two. So I worked on some webinar slides. That was what really didn't happen last week and needed to happen. So I really prioritized that earlier in my day, and then came back to the client work, which continued to kind of go all over the place. And the other couple of tips I would say that you can do when the Monday Mayhem hits, or it could be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, because it can hit any day of the week. But sometimes after you come off a weekend, you're like, oh, I'm refreshed, I'm ready to go. And you're ready to hit the ground running. And then boom, like everything happens at once, because it's Monday and everyone's back in the office. Everyone's looking at stuff and they're like, oh, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this. So a couple other suggestions to you are, shut down email. This is probably the thing I'm the worst at and I need to get better at. So, check your email first thing in the morning, shut it down, and then check it maybe at noontime when you're having lunch, shut it down, maybe check it one more time at the end of the day. I'm probably the worst at that. I will go back to my email. You hear the stupid ding on your computer and you're like, oh, I have a new email. And I am the worst. And I will fully admit that, and then I monitor a client's email as well. And so all of a sudden you got two different dings going on. So that's one tip, is go in there first thing in the morning, do what you need to do, and then get back out of there. So that's one thing. Hopefully you're better at it than I am. I do it at times and I'm really good at it at times, but then other times I'm like, oh, I'm expecting this email to come in, or I need to send this out. So I kind of let myself off the hook, and then I have the email open all day. Secondly, time blocks. So I talked about that a little bit before with like the priorities I had for my company. I moved those earlier in my day today. I looked at my calendar and I had them later in the day, and I know what happened last week. Stuff that I wanted to get done just didn't get done. So I actually prioritized all that earlier today, got it done before noon or before 1. So that was good. And then I rarely schedule meetings on Mondays and Fridays. So I always recommend that to people. I do have my team meeting, but I don't schedule meetings with clients typically on Mondays, Fridays. I don't even take phone calls really with clients on Mondays and Fridays. So that's the other thing I really suggest. I mean, there's rare exceptions to that, like always, but I always suggest to people, like figure out what your schedule needs to be, what works for you, because your clients are going to work around your schedule. You can always make exceptions, but figure out what works for you and how you work best. I work best Mondays and Fridays when I don't have a bunch of stuff scheduled, because then I have the time to go through and make sure everything's getting done for my company, my clients, and kind of set the tone for my week. And then Friday, I have the opportunity to kind of wrap things up. And so for me, that schedule works. And then scheduling kind of, networking things, appointments, all that type of thing on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. That's not for everyone, but I pretty much hold to that schedule. I would say about 90%, 95% of the time. Again, I make rare exceptions, but I really recommend, figure out what works for you. Is that the best schedule? Is it like Monday, Wednesday, Friday? Is it Tuesday, Thursday? Because you've got events you go to on Mondays. It really doesn't matter as long as you do what works for you in your company. So I just wanted to jump on here today because I've just been feeling a little frazzled. It's Monday, and typically I do a little bit of work over the weekend. I did one thing. I finished one proposal. I sent it out Saturday morning before I went to Renaissance Fest. And then I had a memorial service yesterday, and I was with family yesterday. After the memorial service, one of my cousins passed away. So that was all yesterday. So really, I didn't do much in the work scenario. And so once I hit today, it was like the gates were open. So see what works for you. I hope you have a great Monday and a great Monday night. So it's right after 6 o'clock down here in Florida. We had a little cooler weather today. We had some rain this morning, but take a look at your schedule, really figure out how you can work in your business and on your business. It's not just working in your business. As a business owner, we get caught up working in our business way too much. You have to work on your business. You have to continually work on your business. So if you want to grow, if you want to expand, if you want to get better, keep working on your business and schedule it into your schedule. Figure out how to make sure it gets done and keep expanding, keep growing, and keep bringing in more new clients, more new revenue. Hope you have a great night. I will be back tomorrow. Happy Monday.